So, what are the benefits of doing this, do you think? Well, there's loads of obvious ones. Some of it may be aerobic. You know, if you're juggling, standing up outside, breathing properly, juggling more than 3 balls, then I would imagine there's probably some aerobic gain there. There's definitely cognitive gains around things like hand-eye coordination, obviously. There's also research to indicate that things like spatial memory improve. But let me stop now, because this is really where we come to the important bit. When you're juggling and in flow, and you're not struggling as I was then, what do you think's going on? Well, in order to juggle, you need a certain bit of the brain to take over, the subconscious brain. Because if you start thinking about where the ball or sack is going to land, then of course you're going to miss the catch. It's a bit like fell runners that I've spoken to in the past that are running down very steep scree slopes, and they have this wonderful idea of switching off the mind when they go downhill, because if they start thinking about where their foot is going to land and whether or not they're going to break their ankle, then of course, lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. So they switch off the mind, and this really is a slowing down of the prefrontal cortex. They are experiencing what's referred to as transient hyperfrontality. This is something I talk about on my course. It's something I talk about via the flow code and the methods and practices that encourage more of that transient hyperfrontality. Well, here is a really good example of this, because when you juggle, if you want to keep juggling for minutes on end in a flow, knowing that you're going to be able to catch the ball every time, then you need this to shut up. You need this to slow down. And think about it. When you're really in flow and you're juggling, your analytical mind, that prefrontal cortex, isn't still churning over ideas, negative introspection, negative conversations you've had with people. You're in a meditative state. You're in a mindful state. That's why I juggle, and I do it regularly, especially if I'm working from home in front of a computer. So I set my little alarm on something called Mindfulness Timer. This sets off a little chime every 45 minutes. And one of the things that I do is exactly this. And I do it for that reason. It changes my state from being locked in on technology, tapping away, to moving, being sat sometimes elsewhere, standing sometimes, just juggling for a few minutes. It takes me out of that one state, takes me to another, allows my brain a chance to catch up. It gives it a break. And typically what happens, I'll be juggling away, this slows down. At the end of it, I feel that much more engaged, I have more ideas, and I'm much better when I get back at the computer. So, more ideas like this. I mean, it's such a simple one, isn't it? But I bet most of you don't think of juggling in the same way, but you could. And you could easily build this into your day and see some positive gains. Short video, I know. Evolution of Dave signing off. I hope that was useful. Bye for now.